Here's another photograph I took in Sutton Park Sunday on my stroll. Very wet, so a bit of water, a few little reflections here might be able to play with in the painting. Very different from yesterday's composition. So let's have a quick look at the materials. Always the same order, got ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson. I've run out of raw sienna, it's in the post, still waiting for that to arrive. Burnt umber and light red. I've also got a new height brush in the post as well, and I'll be very glad as well when it arrives. You can see I just can't get a chisel edge with this brush now. It's just too worn, and for some reason as well, I don't know why, but it's I don't know if you can see it. It's slanting from right to left, downwards. They're not. I don't know why that's happened. Fabriano 15x11 watercolour paper. So just working out where I'm going to start. Not much sky going on, so it will pretty quickly be straight into those distant trees. Got this path coming round here, plenty of water in the foreground. Right then, let's get cracking. So I'm going to start with a big brush. Just going to grab what little bit of raw sienna I can here. Very little water, there's no real need to put too much water on. I'm not doing any big skies or anything like that. So it's straight into this. In fact, there is a little bit of sky, so I'm going to have to put that, just a little bit of blue in. That's enough. That's all that needs. Right then, and so we are into those distant trees. So I'm just going to go what little raw sienna I can get, a bit of burnt umber, a bit of ultramarine, and that will straight right up in the corner, starting off. And up there, right up. There, something like that. Not too much blue, don't want it to look too blue because it'll look stupid. Don't get too many blue trees. And we're down. Big. And a sort of background trees, and you can see just some light coloured trunks here and there. So I'm just using my fingernail just to scrape them in. You see the paper's too wet there, that's why it's not scraping out very well. So it works on this side. It's still a bit on the wet side really. Don't want to get too mad with those. So there's the distant trees. There is. Oh, is there no? No. I'm gonna just do like a little bit of grass, sort of raw sienna-y, lemony yellowy, sort of sideways movements there. Remember the path sort of swings around like this, so just path will start about there. And just using a damp brush just to lighten it here and there. Don't want it too strong. And then in there we've just got you see a few tree trunks. So I'm just going Switch to the little brush, bit of brown, bit of blue. And just the odd little trunk here and there, just popping that in. A few more on the other side. Not much detail, this is quite far away, so I won't worry too much. Just looking for a general sort of impression of things growing in the distance. So just in front of that now, we're going just a little bit of light red, not too much because it's a very strong colour. Bit of burnt umber, raw sienna, and just sort of a bit more than that. Oh, too much. Just like a layer of bracken or whatever it is, just over there in the distance, giving off towards the end of the path. And there's a bit more on the other side, just coming down there like that. That's all I want for that. Right now in front of there, a bit more raw sienna, lemon yellow, like another layer. A little bit from here. Bit of ultramarine there. Quite a strong green. It's back to a light. I've cleaned the brush, back to a sort of lighter green. And what I might do is just pop the sort of mud path in for now, just to get it in. So it's there. Bit of raw sienna. What I might do first is just, because the paper's stretched a little bit, just pull it flat against this board. 9mm piece of plywood I always use, sat upright on the easel. I only have it at this angle so that it's easy to film. You don't have it after as steep as this, you can have it fairly flat as long as there's some sort of angle for the water, just for gravity to bring the water down naturally. And what I might do, just want to put a few more tree trunks in. So I'm just going to use the little brush, bit of brown, bit of blue, and just pop these in a bit. Just going to see how they go in. I might end up using the height for this, I don't know. Twigs and things. More water, burnt umber, ultramarine. More on this side as well. There's a bigger one. I might just put a little bit of foliage, sort of brown dead leaves or something. A little bit of grass sticking up here and there. So I've got a thicker one there, just pressing down. Got plenty of paint, plenty of water, just pressing down there just so it comes off thicker. I have to keep reloading the brush. And she's coming down somewhere up there. A few more over on the left hand side up there, that's going right up there like that. Just filling that little space in there. Then what I'm going to do is just clean the hake, squeeze the water out of it, just scuff it up a little bit like that, just so there's hairs going all over the place. And then just put a little bit of brown, bit of blue, just only very sort of lightly into the palette, just to catch it on the end of the hairs. And just pop a little bit in here and there. Not too much water, because otherwise you'll just block it straight and you won't be able to see what you've painted in the distance. Just vary it slightly, change the colour, just to get a bit of variety on those leaves. Remember, they're pretty dead. It's it's January now, so there's not much greenery on these trees. Not these deciduous ones anyway. Oh, now I've put a bit of, I went into the lemon yellow by mistake there. That's a worry. Right, that's enough there. Can we get a bit of something going on down there? Bits of grass here and there. Just dabbing it into that light red. And then just flicking down like that, just experiment really with different brush strokes, what sort of effects you can get. And then this sort of muddy path. No, first I'll put the other parts in first, I think. I'll just clean the brush there, and I'm just getting a little bit of lemon yellow, putting that down there like that. Just a hint of ultramarine, just to change it a bit back into that lemon yellow. Too strong now, I want that a bit lighter. A bit lighter, let's pop that in. What else we got here? Again. Dabbing in the muddy areas. Clean the brush, and I'm just going to put like bits of grass. Just a little bits of grass that are visible between. Let's just try and shape that a bit better. More grass in there, got some grass over there. And then I am conscious that we need a bit of water somewhere, don't we? So the water I'm sort of wetting it, make sure it's nice and wet so I can put in the reflections. Imagine the water sort of, is it somewhere? Now while I've got this in, I just want to pop in a reflection, just nice strong, because the paper's wet, so I want this to be strong. I'm just going to reflect that tree into there. So imagine the tree reflection is something a bit more brown, not quite brown enough. Something like that, and then we go another one down there like that. And there's not really a fat lot else. Actually, let's pop a few grasses in. Get some sort of dark. Let's put some dark grasses there. Let's get them a bit darker. So I can reflect those down, just to make it look a bit more like water. And again, just reflect them down there like that. I'll just stick some at there. Stick like a little few twigs and stuff, just so that I can then pull the reflection down. And again, just take advantage of the fact that it helps it look like water. Some big thick mud on those edges there. Lots of thick mud around there. I'm just defining where this path leads. It sort of goes up there, doesn't it? Something down there like that. Just use just very light touch. A bit more mud down there. All sorts of stuff going on down there. Let's get this paper flat against the board again. I know what might look nice there. Maybe a couple of little rocks or stones. So I might get the get me piece of card if I can find it. Well, I found my piece of card. So just the odd little stone here and there. Won't do any harm, I don't think. I'll just pop a little bit of reflection down. And a few little stones down there. That's it. I don't want to get too balmy. Yeah, just all I'm just sort of flicking onto the colour really, and just trying to be very light. It's all about restraint, really. It's so easy to just go bang, bang, bang. You've got to try and be delicate. This is like light red now, very, very strong colour. So you want to be pretty subtle with this. You don't want to get too balmy. Just little flicks here and there, just giving the impression that there's something there, just something nice and bright and colourful. Just little tiny little flicks. Just a couple of dabs, and then just stand back, just stop, stand back, look at it and see where you need to change things. So I think I might just put some shadows in there just to give it some life. So before I do that, I'm going to have to dry it. just so I could have a look from the back of the room. I think I might just make some of these dead leaves just a little bit stronger because the whole thing's just sort of blending into one. I want to bring these trees there just forward slightly. So I'm going to back to the 8 brush, and I'm just sort of squeezing the water out of it like that. Making careful I'm getting it actually into the jar. You can always another way, just press down on the tea towel like that, just squeeze it out. Scuff it up like that, just dry it. So you've got a sort of clean brush. And I'm just very lightly into whatever colours you think should be in your tree. I'm just going a bit of brown. Raw sienna's almost completely gone. Just pressing down on the palette just to see what colour it looks like. And then just want it a bit darker than that, don't I? I'm sort of testing it in the corner. That's a bit stronger now. Just making sure it's not too blue. I don't want to get too mad. I think that should do it, I think. Right, now I'm going to put the shadows in. So, as usual, it was a dull day, no sun. So, if we say, where would it work the best? Tell you what, let's say the sun's over here. So I'm going to say the sun was sort of in that corner there. So I'm just going to follow the line of that just to put the shadows in. So I'm getting I don't want too much water. Just a clean damp brush, a little bit of water. So I'm just going to go a bit of brown, a bit of red, a bit of blue, just to make a shadowy colour. Nice and even. See, normally I don't want nice even paint mixes. I want enough, as much variation as possible, so that you don't get blocks of the same colour. But with shadows, it needs to be the same, really. So I've got my shadow loaded on the brush now. So the sun's over there. So I'm just going to follow these lines and just pop these trees in. And we got all the branches and stuff. Come down there like that. Down there. And just using the corner just to imagine where all the branches and all that and leaves are just creating a shadow on the ground. So again, coming over there like that. Actually, don't forget to just want to darken that slightly. I'm going to have to use another brush for the thinner ones. Look at these shadows off here. So just using a little brush now, and I'm just putting the shadows off these ones a little bit further away. Foliage reflected. Let's just give that a quick drop too. So I'm doing that because I didn't want any sort of blobs. I was worried there was going to be a few blobs there. So I'm just getting rid of them. So we've got our sort of shadows coming over here, cast across the path, a few more in that direction. I need a little figure. So looking at the reference photograph, I can just about, it's giving me a sense of scale. So I can just see a little figure right in the distance wearing a blue coat. It's actually my other half. Just wandering off. And there, and then I'm just going to then switch to some Payne's grey just to pop the feet in. Got lead there, and we don't have a dog, but I'm going to put one in anyway. Might get one day. And then obviously those need shadows as well. So a bit stronger. I think I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to stick a little bird in that open space up there, and all that's left then, just pop your signature in the corner. I'm going to go down there, make sure it's dry, sign it, and that's another one. So let's see what it looks like with the mount on. So here's the painting with the mount on. So let's compare it to the photograph. So starting off, there weren't much skying, so a little bit of ultramarine, just very weak wash in the sky, and just brought it down, reflected a little bit down here, and then it's a case of getting these distant tree lining. So you can see through these foreground trees, just putting very simply a bit of ultramarine and burnt umber, a few flicks of the fingernail just to create the impression of the sort of light catching the tree trunks, a bit of rigger work to suggest a few more trunks in shadow, and they go all the way across to the other side. So once those distant trees in, the next layer, you can see it in the distance, that sort of light, very pale yellowy colour going all the way across, just to separate it from the sort of darker trees. So I'm out of raw sienna, so I'd use pretty much a very light wash of lemon yellow just across there to the other side. Then we got these sort of, I don't know what you call it, sort of dead, I don't know what it is, brackeny, sort of light reddy, deep browny sort of colour, burnt sienna. I've never had that on my palette, but I quite like that colour. I sort of substitute it with burnt umber and light red, because light red's such a strong colour, you really have to be careful. And so I've just sort of dotted it around the place, and tried to use it to try and distinguish this path. Sort of winds round into the distance, that little figure there with the dog. Coming close to the foreground, we've got these trees there scattered around. So I'll just put these in using the rigger brush. But then originally, I've paused the video, stood at the back of the room just to look at it, and the tones, I just wanted the tones darker. See how I sort of darkened them, just to differentiate it, contrast it against the lighter tone background. Just brings them forward, so it helps create that depth. See, with it strong, it just looks more like another layer. And the more layers you can add, the better, the greater the depth. And the foreground here, very wet. It's got this nice little puddly area, but not a lot reflected into it, just a few little grasses and just a hint of that tree there reflected down. So the water area looks a little bit bigger in the painting, and this little thing here wasn't actually in the photograph, but I've just put it there just so I could put in a reflection, just to try and help it look more like water. I did a few grasses, there's the main one reflected down, but a few little grasses just so I could reflect them down to give that impression of the water there. Blue just to reflect the colour of the sky as well. And you can see I have a very muddy path here leading off into the distance, which is just got lost slightly amongst all the shadows and whatnot. Not as distinguishable as in the photograph. Might have been able to, could have done a bit better with that maybe. But overall, I think it's quite a nice little composition. The path itself, obviously leading then to the little figure there, walking the dog. So that's it for today's painting. I hope you like that. I got new videos out most weekdays, so please subscribe if you want to be notified. You can help me also by commenting down below, liking or sharing this video. Keep practicing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.